Willow Creek was not just any suburban neighborhood. It was the suburban neighborhood. Neatly paved streets, houses gleaming in identical shades of cream and tan, perfectly clipped rose bushes, and of course, the pride of every homeowner, the lush green lawns that stretched endlessly across each property, as smooth as velvet and as uniform as a military parade. No dandelion dared show its face here. No brown patch ever lasted more than a few hours before some vigilant resident rushed out with fertilizer in hand. And presiding over this kingdom of greenery was the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, an entity both feared and admired. The HOA had rules. Many rules. Rules about mailbox heights. Rules about acceptable window blinds. But most importantly, rules about lawns. Your grass was to be exactly 2.5 inches tall. No weeds. No discoloration. No deviation. Violators received strongly worded letters, fines, and if they didn't correct their error, public humiliation in the monthly HOA newsletter. At the top of the neighborhood hierarchy sat Mr. Leonard Grayson, the self-appointed lawn king. His front yard was legendary. Tourists sometimes stopped to photograph it. His grass shimmered like emerald silk under the sun. No child dared to step on it. No dog would be seen relieving itself nearby. Even rival gardeners from neighboring HOAs whispered about him. But one summer, something curious happened. Across the street, a newcomer moved in. Evelyn Marsh was not your typical Willow Creek resident. She was in her late 30s, unmarried, an artist, and most suspicious of all, she didn't own a single gardening tool. She drove an old blue truck with paint peeling off the sides and wore overalls stained with oil and paint. When she first arrived, neighbors peeked from behind curtains, gasping at her wind chime collection, the colorful stones she set along her driveway, and worst of all, her front yard. For the first few weeks, Evelyn's lawn was a disaster. Uneven, yellowing, spiky patches grew beside dirt bald spots. It was chaos in a land of perfection. Leonard Grayson sent her a friendly warning letter through the HOA reminding her of the Yard Excellence Code of 2020, but Evelyn barely glanced at it. Then something strange began to happen. One bright morning, Leonard stepped outside to water his prized tulips when he noticed Evelyn's lawn. It was perfect. Not just perfect, it was flawless. More lush, more vibrant, more impossibly green than even his own. The grass stood in proud, straight ranks, as if hand-combed. There wasn't a single weed, not a single brown edge. The lawn glowed with life. Leonard rubbed his eyes.
How?
Evelyn had no lawnmower, no sprinklers, no fertilizer bags stacked on her porch. He'd seen no landscaping truck outside her house. And yet, overnight, her yard had transformed into the dream lawn every Willow Creek resident aspired to have. For the first time in 20 years, Leonard felt the bitter taste of envy. At the next HOA meeting, whispers filled the room like smoke. Did you see Evelyn's grass? Better than Leonard's, they say. Must be artificial turf, surely. No way it's real. Leonard fumed silently, staring at Evelyn, who sat at the far end of the room, doodling in a small sketchbook and looking utterly unconcerned. When the meeting ended, he hurried after her. "Miss Marsh," he said with his stiffest smile. "A moment of your time?" Evelyn turned, bright-eyed. "Oh, hello, Mr. Grayson. Lovely meeting today. Did you like the pastries?" "Forget the pastries. Your lawn. How did you do it?" She blinked. "Do what?" "Your grass. It's magnificent. What's your secret?" Evelyn grinned playfully. "Oh, just a little creativity." Leonard's face darkened. "Creativity doesn't make grass grow. Is it synthetic? You know artificial turf violates Section 4B of the HOA Charter." She laughed, a light, musical sound. "No turf. It's real grass. Very real. Maybe my old ways work better than fancy chemicals and machines. Some things in life need a gentler touch." And with that, she skipped to her truck and drove off, leaving Leonard staring, furious and confused. But that night, unable to sleep, curiosity gnawed at him. He had to know. He had to find out her secret. At midnight, Leonard crept across the street, dressed in black from head to toe, clutching a flashlight. He felt ridiculous, like a spy in some silly movie, but he couldn't help himself. The reputation of Willow Creek, the integrity of the HOA's laws, his personal legacy, all depended on the mystery of Evelyn's lawn. As he tiptoed onto her yard, his foot sank into the thickest, softest grass he'd ever felt. It was real. No plastic. No synthetic smell. He knelt down, examining the roots, searching for hidden pipes or automatic systems. That's when he heard it. A faint humming sound. Soft. Musical. Almost like singing. He followed the sound toward the flower bed along the edge of the porch. And there, between the marigolds and violets, he saw them. Tiny figures. No taller than 6 inches. Pale skin that shimmered under the moonlight. Pointed ears. Wings like dragonflies, translucent and sparkling. They were fluttering above the ground, sprinkling golden dust onto the soil. Wherever the dust touched, the grass thickened, turned richer, more vibrant. Flowers bloomed in their wake. Leonard gasped. "Fairies," he whispered. One of them turned to him. Its eyes glowed like sapphires. "You see us?" it said in a voice like wind chimes. Leonard stumbled backward, heart pounding. "We help her," the fairy continued gently. "Evelyn cares for us. She lets us stay. We make her garden thrive. No poison. No blades. Just life and care." Leonard's mouth opened and closed like a fish. But the HOA, the rules, fertilizers, height regulations. The fairy giggled. "Rules? The earth has its own rules, old man. Listen to the green and it will grow." The tiny beings danced through the grass, sowing their magic. Leonard felt a strange warmth, peace and wonder mixed with dread. What would the HOA say? What would the world say? A perfect lawn, fed by magic, by fairy dust instead of nitrogen? Suddenly the porch light flicked on. Evelyn stood at the door, smiling softly. "I thought I'd see you tonight, Mr. Grayson." He straightened awkwardly. Your lawn. I understand now. You're cheating." She chuckled. "Cheating? No. Just helping old friends. These creatures have been here longer than Willow Creek itself. I give them a home. They give me beauty. It's unnatural." Leonard protested. "Nature is magic, Mr. Grayson. You just forgot." For a long time, they stared at each other. The fairies twinkled softly behind her. And then Evelyn said something that would change Leonard forever. "Your lawn suffers, you know. All the chemicals, the machines, the harsh blades. You choke the life out of it trying to make it perfect. But it could be perfect on its own, if you let it breathe." The words burned into his mind. For days after, Leonard didn't mow. He didn't fertilize. He sat quietly on his porch and watched. He noticed the birds landing where they hadn't before. He saw butterflies dancing in corners of his yard. Wild violets peeked from the fence edges. Slowly, the color of his lawn deepened, becoming softer, richer. And late at night, when no one else was looking, tiny lights sparkled among his flowers. The next HOA meeting was unlike any other. Leonard stood and cleared his throat. "I propose a change to the Yard Excellence Code," he announced. "Less fertilizer. Fewer chemicals. No fines for wildflowers. Let the lawns be free." A stunned silence filled the room. "Have you lost your mind, Grayson?" someone whispered. But Evelyn smiled. And outside, the grass of Willow Creek began to sing.